Rathbone rescues Wrexham. Can the Red Dragons beat the upcoming Welsh Swans? Welcome back to Where Red Dragons Walk with myself, Luke, and today we have got Ed, the man Ed, talking all things Wrexham. Well, what a good feeling it is with a last-minute equaliser, Ed.
Yeah, becoming a bit of a habit. We did it against Blackburn in a recent home game as well, so it was really good. It was richly deserved, I felt, that we didn't deserve to lose. Quality of the game wasn't the best, but so pleased for Rathbone to come on, and what a finish at the end. That was superb.
Yeah, what a way to finish the game. Like you say, I think let's talk about the performance as a whole. I think it was quite a good performance. I think Windass took his goal very, very well. I think you more than deserved a point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we started really well, and Matty James, as you said, Windass took his goal beautifully, but the ball from Matty James was superb to put us one up. And then it was a bit out of the blue when they got the equaliser, wicked deflection, nothing at all Arthur could do in goal about that one. Then we conceded a weak second, and second half we're chasing the game. And just when you thought we were running out of time, we pop up with the equaliser, but it was a bit of an ugly game. It was a funny game. I felt that Watford did resort to a few of the dark cards. They were down very, very easily for the slightest little thing, and they'd be on the floor rolling about. There's a picture towards the end of the game where you've got two players completely poleaxed on the floor, two Watford players, and you don't even know what's happened to them. There was a lot of time wasting going on, so it was kind of a frustrating game. And one, I thought really we were the better team, but in the end you could argue we were lucky to get a point because the equaliser is so late. Do feel that if it was a cup match and if there was extra time, I think we would have won. Watford was certainly there for the taking, so it's hard to know, is it a point game because it was such a late goal, or have we really dropped 2 points? I don't think Watford played great. I'm sure they usually play better than that. I know they've got an awful away record, having said that, but but we'll definitely make a point in the end.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously the guy who came up with it was Rathbone, and he wasn't on the pitch long, but man of the match, is that right, Ed?
Yeah, he was given the sponsors man of the match, which I don't know what that says about the rest of the team. It wasn't as if we were 5-0 down and he's just scored when he's come on, but for someone to get man of the match when they played, I mean, technically he probably played about 9 or 10 minutes because there was so much injury time. But coming on in the 90th minute and getting man of the match, I can't say I agree with that. And I'm a massive Ollie Rathbone fan, but someone like Doyle had a very good game. I don't know why they didn't just give it to him.
Yeah,
a bizarre one.
So I think they caught up in the moment, maybe caught up.
Yes, so happy for him.
Yeah, exactly. That happens. It was a tough week though. I mean, looking before Rathbone gets that equaliser, it was going to be 2 losses from the week. I mean, let's talk about the whole game. It was quite a tough game, wasn't it? And he probably didn't deserve much from the game.
No, that was completely fair enough. Hull thoroughly deserved to win. It was a really, really poor performance, which hasn't been characteristic of us recently. So it felt a little bit out of the blue. Fair play to Parkinson, though. He rang the changes on Saturday. And fair play again, we were 2-1 down, and he really went for it. Really went all-out attack. I mean, we had so many strikers on the end of the game. We had Broadhead on, Windass, Kiefer Moore, brings Hardy on. He really, really went for it. And he does, he cops a fair bit of criticism for not normally changing things and not normally going for games, but he certainly did. So that was good. The other side, though, is now we've took 3 points from 4 games, which isn't fantastic. That's the equivalent of winning 1, losing 3. And all of a sudden, these draws now, I think we've won 1 in 5. So we've spoke very positively recently on the podcast about how we'd only lost 1 in 12 or 13 or whatever it was. But now all of a sudden, we're struggling a little bit to win. So we've got a big few games coming up over the Christmas period where hopefully we'll be bagging a couple of wins.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the next big game. It's Swansea. It's a Welsh rival. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be one to definitely keep an eye on. What have you thought of Swansea so far this season?
I think they struggled. They didn't start too badly, but they've certainly struggled recently. At the moment, they're hovering just above the relegation zone, really. I think 23 points, about 5 behind us. So not the best start. I think they would have expected a little bit more. I would have thought they'd expect to be at least mid-table by now. So hopefully we can go there. I mean, you could say again, get a point, but if we keep on drawing, I think we're going to be sliding down the table. So maybe this is a game where we can look to get 3 points. And in a Welsh derby, it'd be nice because our last derby against Cardiff was horrendous in the cup. That was probably our worst performance of the season. So let's hope they're up for it on Friday night.
Yeah, well, they definitely should be. Talk to me about the history of Wrexham v Swansea. Is there many games that come to mind that you can think of?
In the 90s, I think, because I mean, that's more my kind of era. And certainly the Swansea, Cardiff and Wrexham, we were pretty much all together. We, maybe one was better for a little bit and then we'd all take turns on who being the best. There was a game, remember, where a guy called Owen, who was a great Wrexham player, scored a free kick from about 45 yards, top corner. I can remember being there. In terms of classic games, there's none I've really seen personally myself. And we've not played them for a long time. So maybe the history will be more what's going to be created now and in the future rather than past games. And this will be a big one because with us being in the same league, we're out to prove who is the number one team in Wales. And what really proves that is who comes the highest.
Yeah, definitely. Why not be this season for it to make sure that they know who's in charge? What are we expecting then, Ed? Are we expecting a win? What's your score predictions?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a sneaky 1-0 win. So a clean sheet for Arthur, and we'll grab one somewhere. Maybe Windass or someone will grab one.
Yeah, he's popping up again, isn't he? With goals. Obviously, he scored at the weekend. He's what a player. We obviously talk about the front line quite a bit. It'd be interesting to see what happens in that game. Like I said, it's from a neutral point of view as well. It's probably quite interesting because it's one of them games that you probably haven't seen Wrexham play, for a while against the likes of their Welsh rivals. So it's interesting to see. It's going to be live on Sky on Friday night. So it's going to be it's going to have a lot of eyes watching it. Right, now we're on to our A to Z feature. So we're on to the letter J. Who or what is your letter J for Wrexham?
This one was by far and away the simplest one for me to do, because first name starts with J, surname starts with J. Absolute Wrexham legend, Joey Jones, arguably probably the most famous player in our history, because not only did he play for us, played for Wales, but then once he finished playing, coach at Wrexham for years and years, did loads with the youth squad. Sadly passed away earlier this year, but absolute Wrexham through and through. And my whole time supporting Wrexham, always there's been a chant of "Oh Joey" on the terraces, and that carries on today. So that just shows you how many players can play for a team in the 70s and still people are chanting in the 80s and the 90s, and now the last kind of 20 years as well. Absolute, Wrexham legend through and through.
Yeah, what a legend, and rightly so. He's highly thought of and highly respected amongst football in general. That's a great one, and like I said, quite a simple, easy choice for that one, Ed. Right, we're finishing with tweet of the week, and it's a bit of a negative tweet. I want to get your take on it. We have to keep in mind, obviously, there's been an unbeaten run recently, etc., and there's a Wrexham fan that's tweeted that last-minute goal only papers over the cracks. Do you see many cracks? Do you think that's quite a negative viewpoint? Do you think is there a lot of concerns at Wrexham? I don't think so. What's your opinion, Ed?
I think sometimes people possibly need to give their head a bit of a wobble and remember it's our first season in the Championship for about 40 odd years. And papering over the cracks, I thought we were the better side on Saturday. The performance wasn't fantastic. Maybe it's a case more of expectation. What do we expect? Me personally, I'd be quite happy if we came mid-table. I think that's a good, solid first season. And at the minute, that's kind of the team we look like. I think we're struggling a little bit with having both our wing backs injured. I think Kabore, he did his hamstring whilst on international duty. That's a massive blow, and we're certainly missing him, definitely. So there's a few things, but I don't know. Our bench is looking stronger. That whole performance was very poor, but if you look over the past few weeks, generally performances have been good. Generally results have been good. I feel quite positive. So yeah, papering over the cracks if you're expecting us to win the league or come second, maybe. But I'd say for a solid mid-table team, things are looking okay. And we've just got a fantastic FA Cup draw with Nottingham Forest at home. So what a chance that is to show what we're about as well. Really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, against Forest, that'll be a great game. And I'm glad you said that, Ed, because we talk about it a lot, isn't it? It's about managing expectations, and some fans might be used to just having everything their own way and winning, most weeks. And unfortunately, it's not. The higher you go up, the higher you go up the leagues. It's not always going to be that case. And I think, solidating within the championship this season has got to be the main big tick. And if that happens, then great, and everything else above that is a bonus, really. So I'm glad you said that, and I never doubted you for a second, Ed. I knew you'd be. Thank you for a great conversation, mate, and thank you everybody for watching at home. Please like and subscribe, and please get involved in the comments below, talking all things Wrexham.